Listen, I want to do a quick video showing you how to apply the products that you got. And I'm so happy that you did. And I hope I don't know if you've started playing with them or not. If not, don't worry about it. But this is what you got. You got the primer, you got the liquid foundation on the brush, and you got the Behold setting powder, which is amazing. And I think I sent you a sample of the concealer to go with all of that. And I also sent you a brush. This is a liner shader brush. This brush does a lot of great things. Okay, you can apply eyeshadow with this. You can do eyelining with this. You can even do your brows with this. I'm going to show you how to do that with the palette number 1 that you got with all the beautiful brown, bronzy brown colors. Okay, and so start off with the primer. Okay, this is my face is clean. I sprayed it with a little bit of the rose water, which I know you want to get in your next skincare thing. I sprayed it with the rose water, and then I put some moisturizer on all over, and I kind of let that set for a little bit. And the next thing I do is put on primer, and this is clear, and you just need like about a good pea size amount. It's not a lot, but a little goes a long way. So all I'm doing is I just take this and just kind of pat it on my fingers, and then I'm just going to kind of dab it all over to distribute it. Okay, that way I'm not starting in my cheeks and then trying to move it all over and then feeling like I run out and then I got to add more and then I got more than I need, and so just distribute it evenly by patting like that, and then you just kind of gently smooth it in. Okay, it feels very smooth and silky, and it will just glide right over your skin, and that's exactly what you want it to do. I usually kind of concentrate it from the center of my face out, because that's where I'm going to want most of my priming, keeping my makeup looking true and fresh, more towards the eyes, nose, the lips, the center of your face, smoothing it out. And it's just going to glide over, fill in pores and any fine lines, and just create this perfect smooth surface for your makeup to go on. And it will attach to that primer and just set up perfectly. It's just like when you paint a wall and you prime it. You're creating this perfect clean surface with to apply the paint to, so that it really goes on smooth and holds on to it. Okay, same thing with your makeup. And it's also going to keep it stable and not turn colors and not go from one shade to another. So got the primer on. Like I said, a lot of times I put this on if I'm going to put on makeup kind of with my moisturizer and such, and then I'll usually let my primer kind of give it a minute or two. I'll usually go get dressed or something and then come back and finish my makeup. Now, the liquid foundation, my favorite, love this. Okay, you want to empty the dropper, empty it out, just little drops of liquid in there, put the cap back on and give it a good shake. Really mix it up, because if you're going to apply whatever is in the dropper, so you want to empty that, because when you're shaking it and it's mixing up everything in the bottle, what's in the dropper is not mixing with everything else. So, and then that's what you're going to put on your face, and it won't be mixed up like everything else. So give it a good shake. Then take your fabulous brush, and you'll see here there's like a little hole well in the middle. Personally, I don't like to put the makeup in there, because it seems to just suck it up, and then it absorbs all the makeup, and then there's nothing to go on my face, and that's not going to help. So what I like to do, I think that hole is there just to give the bristles a little more movement, a little more play to, for blending. And I like to put the drops kind of around that hole right there on that edge. Okay, and it usually takes anywhere about 6 drops or so to cover your face. A little goes a long way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, they just kind of fell in there. Sometimes they sit right on top. And then again, I'm just going to dab this all over, kind of like how I did the primer, just to distribute it around my face. And again, kind of focusing on the areas where I feel I want a little more coverage, which is kind of the redder areas, where we have more uneven skin tone. I get kind of red up above my eyebrows. I get red kind of on my cheeks, kind of around my nose, just to sort of concentrate the makeup there. You can always add a little bit more if you want a little bit more coverage. And then once I feel like I've got it kind of everywhere I want it, then just start swirling. Just start swirling, get right up underneath your eye, okay? Just to blend that in. Let me get a little mirror here. And I like to kind of go down into my neck, just sort of shearing it out. Same thing over my ears. You just don't want to have it like a line, where your makeup starts and stops. You don't need that. Okay, and then just go all over. The brush really does so much of the work. Okay, get over the ears, down into my neck. And if you feel like there's any areas that need a little bit more coverage, you can always put a couple more drops and just apply that. That feels pretty good. Okay. Don't have the great, I'm looking at my phone as a mirror, which is not the best. Put a little bit more light on here. Okay, maybe I can see it better. All right, that looks pretty good. And I love, it's just a light, weightless, smoothing effect. It just kind of evens out everything and just gives a nice smoothing, blurring, effect. You can still see my skin. It doesn't look like it's been totally coated, which I like. I personally like a lighter to medium coverage, Everybody has their makeup comfort zone where they just feel right. Some it's more medium to full coverage, some it's full coverage. Wherever you're at in that, this makeup, you can get all of it. You can get put on lightly, medium, you can boost it up a little bit, you can add a little more in certain areas. It's super adjustable and it just feels good. Okay, now next thing I want to do is the concealer, which I think I am pretty sure I can, I used to remember everything, appointments 6 months out. And now I feel like if I don't write every little thing down, it's just like, out of my head. And I have to get better about doing that because I think, I'm going to remember. Concealer, I put it on my ring fingers because they are the lightest, most gentle fingers. So you want to just tap that into these dark corners. This is where you get the darkest, bluest. Go underneath your eye, just pat that in there and kind of go in an inverted triangle. Okay, and just tap, tap, tap. The warmth of your skin and your fingers is going to really soften the creamy texture of this concealer, and it will just you're just kind of patting it and pressing it right into your skin smoothly. Okay, and it blends very easily. You can use a concealer brush, which also works great, but honestly, most of the time I just use my fingers because they're right there. And I just like the smooth, even application it gets. And so see how it kind of lightens up and brightens up that area underneath your eye. It just kind of makes you look more refreshed, more rested, all good things. Okay, now the powder, I want to set this concealer just a little bit, just so I take away that kind of creamy surface there, which is great for the concealer, but I don't want to leave that there because any dust or dirt that will fall from blinking all day, that will fall and stay right there, and I don't want that. So I want to set this a little bit of powder, just making that blow right off. Okay, now you can use a powder puff brush, which we have a great one. You can also use your liquid foundation brush. It's a little denser, so you want to go easy, but just kind of pat that in there lightly, okay? And then you can, because this is a denser bristled brush, it will put it on a little more, more concentrated, where the powder puff brush really kind of blends everything like that, which is great. But you can do this just like this, okay? And just kind of gently swipe it, just going underneath those areas where the concealer is. And then you can also just take a little bit of this and just kind of gently go over where you put the foundation. And this will just kind of nicely set up your foundation as well, just making it look a little more just finished. Okay, great. All right, now I'm going to go into the eyeshadows.